What if the most boring dad in America was actually one of the deadliest men alive? What if the guy who changes diapers, sells minivans, and argues about screen time has 43 confirmed kills? And what if the only thing more dangerous than his past is his family finding out about it? This isn't just a road trip, it's a getaway. Buffalo, New York. Dan is the kind of salesman who doesn't sell cars. He sells dreams. He reads customers like open books, knows what they want before they do. That's why he's once again Salesman of the Month. His co-worker Hal bursts into the dealership like a human midlife crisis, revving engines, peacocking, declaring, "Cars are like chicks. They want to go fast." Everyone thinks he's ridiculous. Dan just smiles. Because Dan doesn't need to go fast. He's already outrun his past. Or so he thinks. Dan leaves work early for his anniversary. His life looks perfect. Quiet suburb, loving wife Jessica, 3 kids, Nina, Kyle, and baby Max. But perfection has cracks. Nina is giving up journalism to follow her boyfriend Trevor to Iowa. Kyle barely talks to his dad anymore and secretly rents space in his friend Samir's garage to stream under the name Killboy, a rising gaming star. Dan thinks gaming is unhealthy. Kyle fires back. "You made me quit gaming so I'd make friends." "I made you quit gaming because blowing people's heads off 24/7 isn't healthy." The tension simmers. That night, Dan and Jessica celebrate their anniversary at the carnival. Same tradition every year. Jessica loves him, but she wants more. "You're such a creature of habit." They ride the roller coaster. They laugh. They kiss. And then, a guy snaps a photo of them without permission. Dan calmly asks him to delete it. The guy mocks him, posts it, calls him a loser, spills a drink on him. Jessica wants Dan to walk away. He does. But something changes behind his eyes. The next day, a man lunges at Dan in a store parking lot. Dan calmly asks, "Can I at least put my kid down first?" Then he dismantles the attacker while holding a baby. Clean, efficient, controlled. Too controlled. That night, Dan opens a hidden compartment in his home. Inside, guns, cash, fake passports. He calls Augie. They're in danger. McCaffrey is looking for him. McCaffrey, his old boss. He needs new identities. Vegas, 3 days. Augie is stunned. "You haven't told them?" Dan hasn't told his family he used to be a professional assassin, and so begins the family vacation. Phones confiscated. Cash only. Old school maps. The kids think he's lost his mind. He throws their phones away. "I just freed our family from the shackles of technology." They sing Ice Ice Baby in the van. For a moment, they're just a family, but McCaffrey is closing in. Bikers attack on a bridge, and so begins the family vacation. Dan silently neutralizes them while his family bops their heads to calming music, completely unaware. Max hands him his milk bottle mid-fight. Dan uses it as a weapon. "Little pothole." They survive, barely. They stop at Nina's future college. Trevor is cheating on her. Dan doesn't lecture her. He teaches her a 13th century pressure point technique instead. She uses it, takes a photo, reclaims her power. For the first time, she sees her dad differently. Vegas, luxury suite, new identities, one-way tickets to Vancouver. Dan plans to finally tell Jessica the truth over dinner. He loses his nerve. Again. Upstairs. Mercenaries break into the suite. Dan fights them off using tequila and precision gunfire. Jessica is taken hostage. An attacker calls Dan by another name, Sean. Jessica hears it. Everything shatters. The kids are missing. They're at the HyperX Arena. Dan finally tells them, "Before I met your mom, I was a covert assassin." They don't believe him until bullets start flying. Kyle throws up. Dan confirms 43 kills. Kyle calls him a hypocrite. Jessica leaves him. She calls Gwen for help. Gwen, the woman from kickboxing. Gwen arrives in a private jet because Gwen works for McCaffrey, and McCaffrey is Dan's father. In an abandoned hotel penthouse, McCaffrey makes an offer. Come back to work for me. Your family lives, but you never see them again. Refuse. They die. Dan agrees, because that's what fathers do. They sacrifice. But his family refuses to leave him. Jessica fights back. Kyle uses a drone to guide Dan through waves of mercenaries. Nina confronts her grandfather. When I look at you, I don't just see a killer. I see my grandpa. McCaffrey laughs, but the distraction gives Dan his opening. Final fight. Father versus son. Past versus future. Dan wins. Police arrive. McCaffrey falls. 6 months later, Nina becomes a journalist exposing assassin networks. Kyle streams again, with balance. Jessica becomes a coach. Dan starts a security company. They pack an RV to take Nina to Stanford. New tradition, phones down, family first. This time, no secrets. If you had a past like Dan's, would you tell your family the truth from the beginning or protect them with a lie? Let me know in the comments.